Okay, today is December the 3rd, 2025, about 1 o'clock in the morning, almost 2 o'clock in the morning. I really don't need this right now. I want to talk about Gemini. It's been on my mind a lot lately. It's been a while since I posted a video. The last video I did triggered me so hard, it took me 3 days to get out of my root chakra. It upset me. But I've got my shit together now, and I had to put priorities first, which was I needed to get my house in order, including myself. So I did. And in that process, I've had to question a lot about my judgment and myself and the way I perceive things. And I have a really bad view about Gemini because of what it relates to in the age that we're in. But I also know that what we're given about Gemini is a perverted, upside down, but it's also a real story. Both stories are true, that the whole dynamic is playing out. And Gemini being the twins, it's that dualistic. It's literally the tree of knowledge of good and evil is what Gemini is. You remember me telling you there used to be a zodiac where they were all trees? Yeah. Well, this is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And to me, this is the tree of life because it has the water of life that activates your pineal gland. That's what Aquarius is about. Individual sovereignty. You becoming your own king, not serving another. That each of us are kings and priests. Which are, priests are only found on the cardinal cross. So kings and priests both ruled by Saturn. But I have a bitter taste in my mouth about Gemini. So I needed to reconcile that for my own self. And a lot of stuff happens to me when I go to sleep. My brain shuts down and I never really sleep. I remember stuff when I wake up, so my consciousness is still very, very busy, even though my mind and my body get to rest. I completely understand the division within myself. Like I've mentioned before, when I drowned in that pool, I came back into my body, I had to reconcile two completely different sets of memories that occurred at exactly the same time, but it was the first time I had experienced them simultaneously. So it was kind of weird that I had to understand that my body, my brain had a mind of its own. That's the reptilian. That's the amygdala. What they refer to as the Mary Magdalene. That's the freaking reptilian brain. Flight or fright. Fight or flight. And your spine, your skull, which is the firmament, it sits on the bone right at the top of your spine is called the Atlas. Atlas holds the world up. In the cosmos, what we're looking at here, this is what I call the firmament. That word means firm, means stable, and ment is mind. It means a stable mind, a fixed mind. It's firm, it's fixed, it's stable, it's born in a manger. But when you're dealing with our mind in this age, our mind, in every age, it's ruled by Mercury, and he is mutable. Our minds are changeable. They're transmutable. And they're supposed to be. We're supposed to be transmuting consciousness. But we're stuck in the Mary Magdalene amygdala, in the world, in the mind, in the body, in the lower chakras, that fight or flight. And we have to reconcile that. I understand the valley of decision now, because we're in this place that we have to choose. Are we going to live in the upper chakras, or are we going to live in the lower chakras? Because things have become so extreme on both ends that you don't have a choice anymore. You're going to have to pick one or the other. You're going to have to make a choice. You're either going to have to, as they show us in the Hindu, which is all Mercury, you got to grab the reins of that horse. And those reins of those horses are our chakras. We're supposed to overcome them. The Bible teaches all of this. It occurred to me in the Game of Thrones. Let me put this up so I can show it to you as we go. The storyline is correct. And then it's not correct, because there's two storylines. Because I do not believe we're at the end of the age of Pisces. To me, there's a whole nother deacon left. Unless the earth is going to shift or the firmament's going to shift. Which it says the firmament is fixed. To where even the Bible says the earth will wobble to and fro. So those that think right now we're mutable. Everything is mutable. Everything is moving here. And, but let me go over here. Make sure I got the right one. Because when you're talking about these stars, I gotta find the one I'm looking for here. Okay. First one of the brand mark. Remember me telling you this is the mark of the beast, the brand. It's about a brand. Right now, if you have a content creator or an entrepreneur, you have a brand. And if you're a TikTok, an influencer, and all that kind of stuff, then you are the brand. It's your personality, it's your ego, what you put out there. So this is Gemini. And so and the little boy's name that ended up getting the throne at the end of Game of Thrones was Brandon. He's got the brand on. He's got the brand. And he falls from a tower, from heaven, Gemini, over here he's the damsel in distress, Virgo. But he's very analytical, and he becomes the three-eyed raven, Corvus. He becomes the three-eyed raven. What is this? Okay, that box. He becomes the three-eyed raven over here in Corvus, which is the raven, the blackbird, the crow, but Corvus. It's just that black family. And with him comes the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail. But that does not bring us into Aquarius. This is the same story as Lucifer falling from heaven. And we weren't supposed to end up with you had a Stark was supposed to be on the throne. He's the star K. He's the K star. And he's an air sign. He was a Targaryen. His father was a Targaryen. So he had the right to be on the throne, legitimately. But he was sent to the north. Which is a whole nother ball game if they do that one. Because that's like Tartaria, right? They're going on the other side of the wall and they're going to build Tartaria. While we sit down here with the three-eyed raven, who has all of our memories, which is another faux pas, because up here is the hippocampus. All of these equine HIP is hippocampus constellation, which is a seahorse, and that is the part of the brain that houses your memory. This is what we need. I encourage everyone to get a seahorse, because this knowing these downloads that we get, it's not us learning or getting a download. It's just remembering. It's all there. I have clear from a small child of understanding that I have DNA memory that's not my own, that comes with the body. I have a distinct memory of being alive, a conscious existence before I ever had a body. So the body freaked me out because to me this thing feels like the grave. I can see that it was made out of clay. It's dirt. I feel like I'm in a grave. And when you have these OBEs or these near-death experiences, and you're free from the emotions and the pain and the struggle of the body, what's left is the real you. It's the real you before you came into the body. It's the real you after you're going to leave this body, because they're only temporary. Everything is here is temporary. It's all transmutation. Now, the elite, their whole spiel, immortality, again, bringing us back over here to Gemini. You put us back in the Western, because that's where they're getting it from there, is in the Matrix, you had to follow the white rabbit. Well, adrenochrome, its molecular structure looks like a damn rabbit. Again, the knowledge of good and evil over here. In the Arabic, this is the giant. This is the watcher, the watchers who mated with women, and the giants that were their offspring, and the immortality. And here's Lucifer, is Sirius. It's just the whole storyline, the unicorn, which, wow, at the tails that's in. The Rainbow Bridge, all of it, all of it. This has the Rainbow Bridge, but when you get into Revelations and it's talking about the throne in heaven, and I saw 4 creatures with the face of a man, the face of a bull, the face of a lion, and the face of an eagle. That's the fixed cross. And its rainbow was emerald. It was the Emerald City. But in their fake, phony Emerald City over here, who's behind the curtain is nothing but a wizard. Remember me? I did the videos. They're on Brighteon a long time ago, over 10 years ago. And it was about Orion, the wizards of Orion. He's the wizard, is Orion. He's the wise bard. He's the advisor to the king. A lot of the giants, Gilgamesh, one of them, that were advisors to many kings. He's the wise bard, the vizier, the wizard, the wise bard. So all the biblical stories are here. You just gotta layer those different zodiacs on top of each other. But at the same time, there's 2 different stories going on. And they blend them and they mix them. And they tell them at the same time like it's one story, but it's going in 2 different directions. Because we live our day-to-day lives going this way. Taurus into Gemini into Cancer. But the big picture, the big story goes Cancer, Gemini, Taurus. It goes this way when you read it out of the Bible. The story's going this way. You have the big flood. After the flood, the descendants come down, and you have Jacob and Esau, the 2 twins, and they go into captivity. They're over here in Egypt, and then he delivers them out into the wilderness, the hot-ass desert of Aries. And they're going all the way over here to get to the king, to the Messiah, who is prophet, priest, and king. He wears a triple crown. He's got a triple crown. That's why they call it the horse races, the triple crown. The Pope wears the the triple crown, the three-tiered mitre. That's for prophet, priest, and king, over heaven and earth and all in between. So I've had to reconcile myself because I know that I focus too much personally on the evil side of Gemini when there is because I know in myself I can say what I'm fixing to say from experience. When I tell you that I'm not afraid of anything but myself. Otherwise, I am freaking fearless. And I wasn't always that way. That was gifted to me. Courage was. But I know, as good as I can be, that there's also that much evil in me. I know how evil the body can be, and the mind can be, and the heart can be. You can only get pushed so far to where you get triggered. That wall comes up. No more. And we're all fixing to be faced with something similar to what I was faced with. You're going to have to make that choice. You can't. I've had to deal with so many narcissists in my life. When you're a person full of empathy, when you're an empath, and you're an INFJ personality type, you're going to attract narcissists like flies to shit. You just are. They know they can feed on you. And they do. And they do it very well. And being an empath, my entire life, from coming into the body, I was fully empathic. I thought everybody was. I was extremely naive. I had to learn the hard way. I had to get abused over and over and over again till I learned to say no more. And so I know where I stand. I have a firmament. I have a firm mind now. You're not going to walk all over me. It's just not going to happen. I'll give you the world. Had Alex asked me for the money, I would have given it to him. And I don't know where the audacity he come off thinking he could blackmail me. I don't give a shit what people say about me. You want to make a video about me? Okay. Send me a link. I'll bring my subscribers over to watch the damn thing because I don't care. When you grew up the way I did, you don't give a shit what people say about you. If your mother tells you, I don't love you, I don't want you, I wish you had been an abortion, you wouldn't be here if I could have prevented it, then there's nothing you can say to me or threaten me with that's going to hurt my feelings. A narcissist cannot intimidate me that way. And I'm zero violence. If you threaten me, if you become violent with me, or even insinuate that you're going to be violent with me, we're done. I'm zero violence. I'm an intellectual. You can talk to me about anything. I don't care what the subject is. I don't care how spooky or how esoteric or how gore or whatever. I can go there. I might not like to go there, but I can do it. But no violence. That's not going to get it. I don't believe in people dominating over each other. Everything must be consensual on all parties involved, or it's a no-go. The parties must divide, and we're fixing to be all facing that. This year was a crazy freaking year, huh? And I have another dilemma that I haven't worked out yet, and it's still happening to me. So I'm going to put it out there and see if maybe some of you are experiencing this, and I clearly see the pattern, but I can't find the common denominator. And it started back in March. The weather's fixing to March, April, right in there, and the weather's starting to warm up, and I have company. So I put an air conditioner in the window. It worked for a couple of days, and it quit. So I had to get another air conditioner. And then I've had my vacuum cleaner, my microwave, a tea kettle melted from the inside down into the thing. How this happened, I have no idea. I'm still freaking out on it. I had my dryer went out. My transmission's gone out on my van. I had my French press, the little glass pot, it broke. It just exploded, freaking broke. And it's just one thing after another. Boom, boom, boom. I've had to replace them all. And I haven't even been able to save money to replace my vehicle because every time I get a few dollars, something else breaks. And then just today, it's been really cold the last couple of days. So I got out my heating pad and I plugged it up. It worked for 2 days and poof, it just quit. So there's another thing. What the hell is going on? Is this everything breaks year? It's I can't wrap my mind around it. What am I not seeing? What am I not realizing to stop this? What's going on? Has somebody put a curse on me or something? So I went through all that. Let's get all this energy. Anybody out there that sent me negative energy, I'm balling it up. I'm multiplying it 10 times and I'm sending it back to you. See how you like it. But I do get trolled a lot. I get a lot of stuff. I try to filter it, but and it does not get to me. I really don't care. 99% of it I don't read. Sometimes I get suckered into it because I don't know what I'm being sent. But nonetheless, it's not overwhelming. I'll say that much, but it still does happen. It used to be a lot worse, but I don't post as much anymore, and I'm not as much of a threat anymore to other people. So I'm really not a threat to anybody. That's just their own paranoia or their own messiah complex, thinking they're saving the world from me, that I'm a satanic heathen or something. Because it mostly tends to be Christians, which is really crazy because I can actually prove Christianity and the storyline that's written in the heavens. It's a wild world. We got a lot of wild stuff coming up. Let's pull this back up. I'm actually coming on here for myself because I've been real busy. I got my notice about a month ago that at the end of this year, well, the 19th of this month for me, our jobs are gone. Again, another job taken over by AI. So I have been applying and doing some interviews, and I tried on a couple of part-times to see if it was a fit for me. That's what I mean by getting my house in order and priority. So I haven't really taken the time a whole lot to look at Stellarium and what's actually going on. So, but a lot of this has been on my mind. I just thought I'd share it with you while I'm actually doing this for myself. So let's take a peeky-do at where everybody's at. Got a moon. What stage are you at? Ooh, almost a full moon. In Aries, headed to Taurus. Uranus still in Taurus. We're going to have this money thing going on. As long as Uranus is in Taurus. It's fixing to be like in the middle of Taurus, and we'll get to see where we're actually going with currency and the whole world. This is the whole world. And, how we're going to earn it, how we're going to save it, how we're going to spend it, all that. We'll get a better idea coming up probably in the next 2 years. But then we're going to get that Uranus retrograde again, which is just going to drag us back into the last decan. So, but by the time Uranus gets past the second decan into that third decan, we'll see the final stages of what currency is going to look like. Whether it's going to be another fiat, it's going to be crypto, it's going to be gold back. We'll get a general idea. Or are they just going to move straight into credits and get rid of even the concept of what we call money? Because that is on the table. Jupiter and Gemini. Jupiter's still retrograde right now, I do believe. Let me check. Yes. We got a Jupiter retrograde, which is actually is weird because that's in air, and Saturn is over here in Aquarius still retrograde in air. So you got this Saturn, Jupiter both retrograde, both in air signs. And Saturn has the dominance here because Jupiter is expansion. So when Jupiter stops moving forward, that expansion stops. And Saturn is contraction. So, and Jupiter is empire. And, you know, this is Star Wars. It's the Jedi against the Empire. It's the Republic against the Empire. And the trade, what is it? The Trade Federation. Yeah. So, yeah. Jupiter wouldn't be too bad right here because even Jupiter retrograde is thinking outside of the box. And this is Gemini. This is the mind. This is Mercury's house. This is the box. So even though Jupiter has the ability to think outside of the box here, it's not going to do him a lot of good because Saturn retrograde, the gloves are off. Just literally. Those that are in authority are going to abuse that authority to the hilt right now. And that's what we're looking at. In the house of the king and the wayward prince. The prince of the power of the air, Gemini, and the king, Aquarius. And that's literally damn near a Prince Charles or King Charles and Prince Harry saga. But you can almost see, because it's upside down, you can actually see the Andrew falling as well. Because everything's upside down. Venus coming out of Libra into Scorpio today, this week. Now, it's there now. In Scorpio. With the sun. With Mars. Wow. And Mercury right behind them in a few days. Let's see when that's going to be. So on the 13th into the 14th, Mercury's going to move into Scorpio with, well, they moved this a little bit. I should probably go back and do that to the numbers. But right in there, we're going to have all that energy right there in Scorpio. Again, the root chakra. Let me back up. Where am I at? 10 days. Oops, let me pop up here and take a look at 11. Because we do have that Mars, that Venus, that Sun, all in Scorpio here. Screaming Sagittarius, but it's not. Sun in Ophiuchus, which is just the upper house. We have Neptune in Pisces. We have Pluto in Capricorn on the cardinal cross. Next year's just going to be batshit crazy. I don't even know how to describe it, other than what I did a while ago. It's that I'm watching two extremes push to either end. And right now, I'm just standing in the middle, being the observer, is what I have been doing. But the way Alex triggered me, and I so easily fell into that root chakra that I had to check myself. And I found myself in the valley of decision. What you gonna do, Lavette? Lavette's gonna do what Lavette always do. She's gonna think logically, turn that Mercury, that Gemini, upright. They've got the twins in a 69 position. It needs to be in the 99 position. And actually it needs to be in the 66 position because everything mirrors, and that makes it 99 here. If that makes sense to you. But that's where we need to be, is there and in our heart chakra. Just stay in the upper chakras. Talk myself off the ledge and get back in my heart. And I have things that I do to help me do that. I know that we have that amygdala, that reactive mind. And I have to tell myself no. And a lot of times you can stop yourself, but then that chattering monkey never shuts the F up. So I like to watch the dodo with the animals, and I love cuddle buddies. Um, it's somebody rescuing a pet or finding an animal, or and it's you end up rescuing each other, so it's always heartwarming, and it takes me back there. And lately, I've been feeding the birds. They didn't really want anything over the summer. I would put seed out there and just nobody would touch it. And now I can't keep enough seed out there. I am shocked by how much seed these birds can haul off in just a few hours. It's not even taking all day. I'll put a big cup of seeds out there and poof, they're gone. But the sweetest thing I got to experience, I've never seen her do it, but Kelly was napping, and she has her bed beside mine. So I was just leaning over watching her sleep, and she started wagging her tail. And I mean really hard, big wag. Like whatever she was dreaming about, she was really happy about it. And that tail was really going, and it wagged for a long time. It wasn't just a little bit. This went on for like 4 or 5 minutes. And I just sat there and watched her do it, wondering what I was glad she was having happy dreams. Animals are just as conscious as we are. Trees are just as conscious as we are. They have a different language, a different frequency, but they can feel us. They're empathic. I can attest to that for animals and trees, that they are empathic. A big old tree, yes, there's something very living about it, very conscious about it. It has an awareness of its own. It has its own sovereignty, its own little universe, its own firmament, and it's rooted, it's grounded. I love trees. I was never what you called a tree hugger, but in the sense that it's portrayed in society anyway. I've never been that kind of tree hugger where it's ritualistic to me. But I've always had, wherever I've lived, I've picked a tree to be my friend. And I would do that from a little girl. I think everybody should do it. I think everybody should have a tree. I think every time a baby's born, a tree should be planted for that baby. So that when it grows up, it can grow up with the tree, just like it grows up with the puppy. And you're going to need that tree. That tree's going to be there for you forever. It's your confessional. That's who you go dump on. You don't need to go to a confessional. You don't need to go to the bartender or the therapist or plaster your whole victimhood life over TikTok. You just need a tree. And they'll listen to everything you got to say. You can scream at them, beat on them, drive nails into them. They'll never betray you. They'll always be right where you left them. And they'll never let you down. They'll keep you cool on a hot sunny day. And if you pick the right tree, they can give you nuts or fruits and sustain you. Or give you medicine. There's so much that you have to learn to live in the body. But it interacts with this world. And it has needs. And they're poisoning our food and our water and our air. And just nothing's clean anymore. It's awful here. I hate it. I haven't had a vehicle in months, and I am stuck with buying meat at this gross-ass little store here. Our Walmart doesn't sell food. It's got milk, eggs, and a couple of aisles of cans. Other than that, there's no meat, there's no produce, there's no anything like that. It's just enough to where they can take food stamps. But it's just clothes. It's just a bunch of clothes and garbage and shit. It's just a bunch of junk in there. But our grocery store, I was used to going to the butcher shop and getting real meat, The guy raises them himself. So I'm I'm kind of grossing out on all the food that's showing up in the supermarket right now. It's kind of freaking me out. I'm having to psych myself out to actually eat the damn food. So my diet's changing a lot here. And it's probably fixing to change a lot more. It's always been psychological with me. But the body needs what the body needs. It needs nutrition. And right now, there's very little food out there that has actual nutrition. To me, these bioengineered and GMOs, the whole point of them doing that was to strip the nutrition out of the food. It never was about making more food and it'll grow bigger and it'll produce more. Oh, bullshit. It's about poisoning us, taking nutrition out and putting poison in. They're actually trying to depopulate the whole world. Everybody but them. Well, nothing's hitting me really hard here. Okay. Our minds are in the balance. I can see that. But everything powerful's fixing to be right here. And this is aspecting Aquarius. When everything moves into Scorpio, that's aspecting Aquarius. Of course, I've got this on 12/11. That's another watch date. And, wow. I've seen them do it with the moon, but I've never seen them do it with the sun. About being in Ophiuchus. But that don't mean they won't. I don't put anything past these elites, because right now, we're watching a war go on. We're literally watching the Game of Thrones. And we're watching them go scorched earth on each other. And just from what I'm seeing, and 99% of what I see is just a passing thumbnail or something that shows up in the feed. Because to me, it's all staged. I'm sure it's all scripted. I'm sure a lot of the characters playing those parts don't realize that. There are more NPCs out there. I think 99.99999 we come in as NPCs. To me, you're an NPC until you're awakened. You got to become player one. Everything is relative. You got to create your own reality or it's going to be created for you. I can't tell you how many times I've told y'all that we are manifesting not only our own reality, but when they group us together in this groupthink Pisces age, we're manifesting their reality, which is even worse. We need to learn to drop it all. As Matt would say, worry about yourself and go get your crown. Put your crown on your head. And then climb to the top of the mountain and be the king of your world. But don't let anybody walk all over you, especially in your own domain. All right, people. I think that'll about wrap it up. I don't want to make this too long because I'm having internet issues still. I'm on the damn list, but who knows when that's going to be for me to be able to get broadband back. But this 5G just isn't working. They keep promises and a new tower, but that's all we've heard. And nothing's getting done. And it seems like every day there's less and less out. It's like having a blackout every freaking day. All right. I love y'all bunches. You know what to do. Commit your random acts of kindness. I cannot stress to you that the most important thing, every time I've ever heard a life review, 100%, it's all about when you were kind to someone or when you were ugly to someone. When you were mean to them and you hurt their feelings, or when you were really good to them and you made a difference in their life. And that was the only damn thing that mattered in the life review. They didn't care about your gender, didn't care about your sex, didn't care about your religion, didn't care about your race, didn't care about your sexual preferences, it didn't care about anything. Just how did you treat other people? That's it. How you gonna act? All right. my channel's helped you, please help me keep it coming to you. I'm going to try to get out more videos. I've only got a couple of weeks left to work, and then I'm going to have some time off till I can scrounge up something else. So, hopefully, there'll be videos over the holidays. Alright, people.